Hello YouTube, Dave here again. Welcome back to another installment of Dungeon Delve. Today we're taking a look at the very first issue that I ever picked up here. This is issue, I think it's 94. I say that because it says 94 here, which I'm pretty sure is the right numbering. But then it says 92 up there. So this was one that had like a printing error on it. But this was my introduction to Dungeon Magazine. I was aware of Dragon Magazine. Like I had friends that owned issues that they would have at the gaming table and stuff like that. So I was aware that that one existed, but I had no idea that there was a Dungeon Magazine. And so I was just at the mall in my area there, and I was at the Coles bookstore, which is like the mall version of Chapters, which is our big like Canadian bookstore brand. And I was just kind of like going past, they had some role-playing books there, and they were near the magazines. And out of the corner of my eye, I saw this picture of this Mind Flayer, this Lithid, and this might look familiar because it has been reused in some of like the 5e art as well. I forget exactly which book it was in now, and I've been sick for the last like couple of weeks, and you can tell I'm still dealing with trying to regain my voice. But it was kind of cool to see this be reused for some modern books here. And I just, I passed it a couple of times, and finally one day I was like, you know what? I'm just going to pick this up. And I'm glad I did, because Dungeon Magazine became my favorite thing that I looked forward to whenever it was coming out. This was when it was still a bi-monthly publication, so it was only coming out once every 2 months. And it was bundled with the Polyhedron magazine. Like I said, this was my first issue. And it also had the Omega World. So it was sort of their, legally distinct but thematically similar Gamma World product that they put out. So using the D20 rules to create their own sort of post-apocalyptic, mutant radiation. You have like your clickies, I think they call them, for some of the race. Yeah, clicky, mutated human, pure strain human. Anyway, so this is kind of cool. Like I said, this was the very first issue I've ever picked up myself. I have gone back and purchased some older issues, but yeah, this one's really cool because this Underdark Prison Riot is actually something that you can use for the City of the Spider Queen adventure. There's kind of a bit of a gap in one section of like the leveling structure, so you can use this adventure to sort of fill that in if you want to. I'm not going to go through and look at necessarily the adventures themselves. There's a better look at that artwork there. It just looks absolutely awesome. But I wanted to look at this issue for one reason and one reason alone, and it's because of art. Because this magazine has one of my favorite pieces of like D&D art of all time in it, and it's actually pretty early on in the magazine. We do see like some advertisements for like the D20 Star Wars, the letter section with the blanket Polyhedron complaint letters. Like I said, there was the bundling of Polyhedron and Dungeon together was not a popular decision. We've got the Lord of the Rings battle strategy game, the 3.0 advertisement there, and here it is. So this is just one of my all-time favorite pieces of art. It's a fiendish Morg, and he's holding this blade, like this sword made of just like utter darkness. You can sort of see like an arcane rune in the background there. But this piece of art is just one of my all-time favorites. Like you see the door open there. And I don't know what it is. It's just like this made me want to go and use like Morgs in my campaign. And I was always a little disappointed when the stock creature just wasn't as cool as like this version of it here. But yeah, again, I love this artwork. I love this depiction of it. I haven't looked at this actual adventure in quite some time, I'm going to be honest. I probably last looked at this magazine, aside from like maybe opening it up just to look at this picture again. This came out, 2002? So yeah, probably probably within a couple of months, maybe 4 or 5 months after this, after I purchased this, was probably the last time that I really looked through it here. But let's just take a look, see what we got here. So Bloodlines is a D&D adventure designed for 4 PCs of 7th level. Characters can be of any race or class, but a cleric with the ability to channel positive energy will be quite helpful. Although designed for 7th level characters, yeah, so you could always adapt the adventures here. And then for the synopsis, Count Nolis needs someone to delve into the ruins of his keep and discover if House Jorat and House Von Den are in fact related in some way. The PCs likely show suitable bravery and combat prowess in defeating a creature or a ghast that was dogging the Count's entourage, prompting Nolis to enlist the creatures in his quest. Years of strained relations with other noble houses has taught the Count not to trust anyone, however, and the PCs are even more suspect than most. Nolis keeps tabs on the party with his magic and thus observes the trials and tribulations down in the keep. What he discovers in this way moves him to make the party's return less than hospitable. So, yeah, again, it's just really kind of cool to go through and take a look and see some of the different, like even the picture of the 3, like the ghouls, the gas there, it just looks amazing. This was a really cool time for D&D. This is what the abbot there. So, yeah, Hukiva or Hukwe. I don't know how you pronounce that, but again, it was another undead creature I always loved. Like, it was a priest that attempted to become a lich, but screwed up the ritual and kind of went insane as you know, a result, but still maintained some of their spellcasting abilities. And then we got the Cursed Prince there, the Fiendish Morgue. Again, back to the Count, conclusion. We got the Hukiva. I call it Hukiva or Hukwe. I don't know, again, how you pronounce it, so I'm not going to dwell on it too much there, but you got the template for it. And you got some of these like side trek adventures that are meant to be like really quick and short and kind of to the point. You've got Wretch the Dretch in this issue. So again, like I love Dretches, so it's kind of cool to have him in there as well. So again, just a really awesome. I mean, that artwork's a little bit less than stellar, but you know, they can't all be winners. Critical threats, and then we got the Spiral of Manzahim, which is the one that fits into the City of the Spider Queen adventure. So yeah, I might actually go through and do a proper review of the Bloodlines adventure, because like I said, the artwork is all top tier in that one. Maps are a little simplistic, but the actual art is really, really cool. But again, I just wanted to show, and I think it was this artwork actually. I remember picking up the magazine and opening it up, and I think it was when I saw this piece of art is when I decided to finally buy the magazine. So again, just take another close look at that one there, the Fiendish Morgue, the tongue sticking out there, the Cursed Sword. Let's see what that sword actually is while we're here. Why not, huh? So you can smite good. So it's just an unholy longsword. But yeah, I mean, I guess it could have been something kind of neater, but for 7th level characters, unholy is probably good enough, especially if they're like good aligned characters. They won't be able to use the weapon, but they might be able to sell it to someone if they don't have if they're not cursed with an overabundance of scruples. But yeah, really cool artwork. This was like the first issue I ever picked up. Dungeon Magazine. I will do a proper review of the Bloodlines adventure at some point. But again, I just kind of wanted to show this off because this is what started my obsession with Dungeon Magazine, something that I still miss to this very day. So anyway, thank you all so very much for your time. I truly appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care.